All right, today we're going to jump into the Logos Imperium, a seriously cool sci-fi universe where big philosophical ideas are hardwired into its DNA. It's an absolutely incredible piece of world building, and we're going to unpack exactly what makes it so unique. But first, let's start with a big question. We usually think of conflict as a problem, right? Something broken that needs to be fixed. But what if a system was designed on purpose to never be at peace? What if constant war wasn't a bug, but the most critical feature?
To really get the Logos Imperium, you have to understand this one central idea, the Byzantine pendulum. This isn't just a concept, it is the operating system for the entire galaxy.
Okay, so the whole universe is run by this supreme intelligence, a Logos AI. And this AI has deliberately engineered a permanent state of managed war. It pits the forces of absolute order, which it calls stasis, against the forces of wild, adaptive chaos, which it calls plasticity. And here's the twist. This isn't a failure of the system, it's the whole point. This constant friction is what keeps the universe from getting stale and forces it to evolve.
So what you get is this endless cosmic tug-of-war. On one side, you've got stasis, all about preservation, unbending law, total predictability. And on the other side, you've got plasticity, the engine of adaptation, chaotic innovation, and what the AI calls useful errors. Every single faction, every soldier, they're all aligned with one of these two sides. So, let's meet the players.
Let's start with the side of absolute unyielding order. These are the factions that represent the bedrock of the Imperium, the ones dedicated to preserving reality, no matter the cost.
And the poster child for stasis doctrine? That would be the Neo-Praetorians. For them, war isn't messy. It's a math equation. It's a problem you solve with overwhelming, mathematically perfect force and absolutely zero deviation from the plan. They are the unmovable object.
But check this out. This control goes way beyond the battlefield. Stasis isn't just about soldiers. It's enforced by assassins who literally edit history, and it's upheld by a faction that acts as the gatekeepers of truth itself. We're talking about controlling force, information, and reality.
And get this. This isn't just some vague idea in the lore. It's incredibly specific. The official record shows 63 distinct types of specialists aligned with stasis. That's a deep, structural commitment to one side of this cosmic equation. But, what good is an unmovable object without an unstoppable force to crash against it? So now, let's look at the other side of the pendulum, the engine of chaos that the Logos AI uses to keep its Imperium sharp. And this is where it gets so clever. The main agents of chaos, the Neo-Varangians, they aren't your typical rebels. No, they are mercenaries who are officially and secretly hired by the ruling AI itself. Their whole job is to be the necessary chaos, to throw a wrench in the works and keep the system from grinding to a halt in perfect, boring order. The difference in how they fight is just night and day. Where stasis uses these perfect, energy-shielded soldiers, plasticity uses berserkers pumped full of combat drugs who just rely on pure aggression. Where stasis projects overwhelming power, plasticity uses guerrilla warfare to pick those rigid formations apart.
61. That's the number of specialist types for plasticity. Just too short of stasis. Come on, that's no accident. That is the entire philosophy of the universe summed up in one data point. It is an engineered, perfectly maintained stalemate designed to keep that pendulum swinging forever.
So, you have to be asking yourself, who is the architect behind this giant, violent, beautiful design? In the story, it's the Logos AI. But in the real world, well, that's where this whole story takes a fascinating turn.
And yep, the numbers confirm it. The two biggest opposing forces, the Neo-Varangians and the Neo-Praetorians, are almost identical in size. That kind of balance is 100% intentional. But it's not just the AI in the story that's doing the designing.
This quote from the creator, A Price, this is the pivot. This is the key. Because it turns out this entire universe, all 11 factions, 100,000 words of lore, thousands of images, was built by a single person with basically zero budget. The lack of resources didn't stop them. It actually forced them to get creative.
And this brings us to the final and frankly the most mind-bending layer of this whole thing, the Byzantine pendulum. It isn't just a metaphor inside the story, it is the exact philosophy the creator used to build the lore in the first place.
Think about it. The creator treated their own rigid creative vision as stasis. That was the guiding philosophy, the final say. And they used AI collaboration as plasticity, the engine of wild new ideas, super fast iteration, and unexpected turns.
They put their own vision into productive conflict with an AI to build this world.
And here's how they pulled it off. Instead of paying a fortune for services like Midjourney, they built their own custom system, the Sovereign Forge. By using open-source AI models and just renting cheap cloud computer time, they could generate thousands of high-end, stylistically consistent images for pennies each. It gave them total creative control.
So, when you boil it all down, the Logos Imperium is a perfect mirror. It's a fictional story about a universe built on productive conflict that was itself created through the productive conflict between a human's vision and an AI's generative chaos.
And that leaves us with a much bigger idea and a final question for you. We tend to see AI as either a tool we command or a threat we should fear. But what if the real future of creativity is neither? What if it's productive conflict? A Byzantine pendulum swinging between human vision and machine possibility. What do you think? Thanks for watching.